Hey, what's up guys? How's it going? I'm gonna go ahead and kind of explain this game, which is known as Warhammer 40k Last Crusade. Now, I've been playing this game, and I thought I'd go ahead and just kind of give you an introduction to the game, and then also simultaneously make a bunch of guides to explain what the game is, and hopefully be able to explain it in a way that, makes sense. Just like a lot of games in the mobile gaming genre, this is a pay-to-win game. Now, I think it's a relatively fun pay-to-win game because it's Warhammer. Now, what's cool about it is, again, you got a world map, and just like any of these games, you do have, like, forts, and then you've got, like, major capital bases that you can fight for. So, like, here in about an hour, we're fixing to see some pretty major contesting of the Blackrock stations, which, as you might imagine, is going to be a crucial factor and what will later lead to the actual control of these major buildings here, which, if you're wondering, yeah, the Fort Obsidian is kind of what's used for all intents and purposes of pretty much the main game. Now, at least when you're starting out, the main thing that you want to know, as far as when you build up units and you're actually getting around to level like 4 or 5, all right, is starting out there's a couple of things you want to know. Like the resource buildings I generally didn't focus on right from the get-go, and if you're going to play free to play, then go right ahead. But I generally recommend what you do is actually focus on your Vox amplifiers, which are used to basically improve your training speed and then also increase the amount of training troops that you can produce at any given time. There are a lot of little factors that you do need to be considerate of, like the battle barge is kind of like your capital building. So anybody to everybody that starts out, you can actually click on this to see what your productions are, but it'll also be what's responsible for increasing your gathering speed. Now, like seeing as how I'm at 26, you might imagine you get, a fair amount. Of course, they've got package deals where you can pay anywhere from like $5 to $100 for a pack. Now, what I'm gonna pretty much do is I'm gonna explain this to you. So like the defense arrays, for example, if you're gonna build defense arrays, pick one cannon type and stick with it, because that one unit type is gonna get obliterated. If you divvy it up, it's gonna suck. It's not worth the time. A couple of things that you may want to consider is like your navigator's quarters. This is like where the rally increases happen, right? But one of the things that you want to do is you actually want to primarily focus on a couple of things, at least when you're starting out, right? Now, I'm giving you a bunch of different directions. I know it's maybe vastly complicated, at least in the beginning, but the main thing that I want to get across is initially you'll start off with getting a Primaris Barracks, and then you'll eventually get Vanguards, and then you'll get Dreadnoughts, and then you get Predators, and then you get Whirlwinds. Now, each unit type in this game, initially, a lot of people get a little confused. They look at this and they don't understand. And really, it's as straightforward as it looks, but walkers are pretty much what gets hit initially. Okay, so in the battle, walkers and Dreadnoughts, basically, same thing, right? But they're the ones that are soaking up all the damage. Okay, so these guys here, in a sense, if you want to increase walker defense like a stupid amount, that's probably wise. You pretty much end up making melee infantry or vanguards, and then battle tanks are like predators. Use them to gather most of the time. Artillery or whirlwinds, they're used to kill off-range infantry, which are those Primaris, and they're the ones that do a lot of damage. So generally, if you're going to be picking your unit types, range infantry kill predators, predators kill artillery, artillery kills range, and so on, right? It's really straightforward, at least when you look at it at a glance. But one of the things, as far as attacking is concerned, is that most of the people that I see that are doing really well off are actually usually keeping a couple of things in mind, which is that when you send a march, and there's a lot that goes into this, but I guess I should probably also point out that while, yes, you can build like level 1 predators, right, for gathering, which is wise, you also don't want to like skimp out on building your higher tier units as well. In a sense, when you're attacking somebody, it's a little different than if like you're going to go gather. It's a little different if you're going to go do certain things. It really is. I guess to give you kind of like some idea of what I would recommend sending to attack somebody, is kind of like, I don't know. I mean, like, for example, this guy here, he's just chilling like a villain. right? But if I was going to send a march, you see how like this in the beginning, it's going to give you all these pre-loaded recommendation of what to send. Well, generally, what I will do, at least with when I send an attack, okay, I'm not going to go off of their recommendations. So I'll actually go up and save a lineup in here. So what I'm going to do, all right, is what I like to do most of the time, all right, is you either go off of what stats you want to get improved on. So if you want to go like super high into one unit type damage, then that's, you know, that's what you'll want to do. But most of the time, it's more beneficial if you're really aiming to like kind of go for like, I would argue if anything, you want to be more advantageous for the hero combos. So like in this case, if I'm going to go with Tycho, I'm probably going to want to pair up Cordis and then also probably pair up a Lastor alongside him. And the benefit of that is I'm going to get a 8% increase in hero attack, which, you know, for all intensive purposes, the main thing with Tycho is that Tycho has an attack speed boost, which is really nice. Cordis and Alastor have, you know, different bonuses. I guess I could also probably explain what the Free Blade Knight is. There's so much to go on. But, you know, as far as like actually sending the marches, I'm not going to send all my level 5s and level 6s when I'm going to march on somebody. Now, you would think, oh yeah, that's what you want to do. You want to send your highest tier units and then your low tier units afterwards. Now, I'm not too jumpy on that because most people starting out are not going to have that much. Okay. So out of like 5,635, noted that if I throw him in here, it's going to make a difference. Okay. Because Free Blade has got him, he's got bonuses of his own that also get tacked on if you use them. Okay. But like, you know, obviously if you're going to use level 1s, right? You could use level 1 Dreadnoughts and use them as a buffer. Not a very good buffer, but a buffer nonetheless. I would rather use level 3s. I'm a big fan of using level 3 units, and so what I'll do is I'll send some Dreadnoughts, I'll send some Vanguard Veterans, I'll send some Hellblasters, and maybe some Predators. You know, I'm probably not, you know, as many. I try to divvy it up a bit, so like maybe we'll probably bring this down just a bit. Just to make it a little bit more reasonable to work with. Because again, a little bit of everything makes a difference. So I'll try to stick near 1,000 here if I can. We'll probably keep this more closer to 2,500. And then let's throw our intercessors in there, and let's throw the, well, yeah, we don't need a lot of, well, Well, that would, I mean, this initial attack here would probably be okay, right? So if we send that, that's going to be okay. Now, again, granted, this guy's like base level 15. There's not really a lot to fear. Because, again, this guy's already burning, so he's probably already screwed, if he isn't already. But with this kind of combination, I'm pretty much maximizing. As you can see, I've got a lot of statistic bonuses here, as you can see, whereas this guy has like hardly any at all. Like I've got nearly 50% going for me, and he's only got 5. It makes a difference. But for the most part, right, with a lot of these statistical bonuses, like here, this guy, you know, he's got some of his defensive arrays. That's it. I mean, that's all he has. Doesn't have a whole lot of anything. But for the most part, right, I guess to kind of go over the Free Blade. The Free Blade's kind of useful for a number of reasons, because one of the things that's nice about this guy is, provided you only get so much, but he increases build speed, research speed, and then you can upgrade certain bonus buffs, as you can see here, and so you're going to get like little buffs to your HP, you're going to get buffs to pretty much the knight itself, so it's mighty useful. Obviously, you know, increasing your HP and then also the attack as you progressively increase this. Like, as you can see, there's more and more bonuses that are going to get tacked on the higher the tier of the armor and higher tier of this and that and so forth, right? So the Free Blade Knight's something that, you know, it's kind of, you know, you start out building it up, but it's not a big time waster. I mean, I would say, if anything, if you're trying to pick out what heroes to get in the game when you're starting out, you're not going to have a lot of legendary heroes, because unless you're paying in the game, because it is a pay-to-win game, right? But I would say Omnius is probably a really good pick for a lot of people starting out, because he's going to give you a lot of Dreadnought attack, he's going to give you a fuel collection speed, but in general, he's a fairly easy hero to get going. Outside of that, you're really the only other options you really have would be like Alvinius, Praetus, Solaris. You might be able to get some of the purple ones if you do events like a Draenus, Alastor. You'll obviously get Cordis and Tycho. I'm a big fan of using Tycho and Cordis, and I'm obviously don't skimp out too much on any one of these. I mean, I think generally if you've got the ability, go ham on these purples as much as you can, because legendaries, the one thing that you have to be considerate of is both the rank of the hero itself, okay, and then there's also the rank of their skills, and then there's also the gear power, which then determines their level, which also happens to be something that is dictated by the administrative outpost. Okay, so there's a lot of little factors in there that you gotta keep in consideration as you're like going around. Generally, if I'm hitting somebody though, I'll use a lot of level 3s. I don't like using level 1s and 2s. I mean, you can spam level 2s if you want to. You can use a bunch of level 4s and 5s and 6s if you want to. But the cost is obviously going to get significant pretty quickly. Like here, just to make level 6s, it's about 1 million or so, and that's only for like 100 of them. It doesn't take a lot. It gets expensive fast. So, for this isn't so bad because I don't have to use plasma. And since I'm not a big fan of wasting a whole lot of resource, level 3s are just perfect right in the middle and not terribly expensive one way or the other. So I'll go ahead and make some of those, quick use and terrain, and not really think too much on it. Now, something that you also want to consider is your strategy. This is pretty much, this is kind of an F on my part. I probably should have just did this. But you just click activate. But like here, this is the current set that I'm using. Again, I'm just focusing straight on for logistics. I'm getting construction build speed, and then I'm going to keep going ham and just keep going down the map as far as I can because, again, the development is pretty useful when you're starting out. If you're attacking, you go into war mode, and then here you want to probably increase your attack, HP, and then not worry too hard on defense unless it's for dreadnoughts, because I think defense with dreadnoughts makes a lot more sense than it does for a lot of other unit types. But generally, HP and attack are the ones that you want to focus on. As far as every other unit though, so like here I've got some level 5 Hail Blasters, level 4 Hail Blasters, and the level 3 Intercessors. I'm going to go ahead and I think, for the Intercessors, I'll go ahead and make some of these since I need some. Looks like I'm running low, so I'll start making some Intercessors. But, I don't know. I mean, some people, you probably have the question of, well, whether or not should you actually get deep rescues at 800 crystals a piece. I don't recommend spending crystals on deep rescues. It's not really worth it. You're probably better buying it. And I say that because I've never really seen much value gained out of just paying the full amount. VIP level wise, you can get up to 15. The battle barge can go all the way up to 40. So just to give you an idea, again, and I'm sure some of you guys are new to the game, so I'm just kind of trying to give you some advice, but also simultaneously, I am giving you just about as much information as I can think of as I'm going around. So if it is a little hard to follow, I do apologize. But outside of that, though, the defense arrays are pretty useless. But if you are going to actually go about upgrading them, and again, if you are, then the main thing is you basically go around killing chaos forces for their parts, or you can kill fleets. The other thing, at least, is you have to click on auto defense towers, and if I'm going to build auto defense towers, I'm just going to build one type because it just makes more sense to do more damage to one type. And in this case, I'm going after the actual dreadnoughts that they use for defense, because once you kill off the dreadnoughts, everything's going to go frickin' haywire from that point forward for them anyway. Other than that, I pretty much, my strategy as far as like growing as fast as I possibly could was I basically aimed for increasing the battle barge level, and then I simultaneously worked on all the training buildings. I didn't really focus too hard on like resource buildings, because even though resource buildings are useful, you're not going to need them if you're going to go around attacking players for the resources anyway. Plus, if you're going to go and gather, then there's still no point to really put a whole lot of energy in that. So I don't recommend putting any energy in that unless you're going to be free to play. Other than that, Vox amplifiers are the other building that I'm working on, because again, the faster the better. And then you're just going to practically get yourself in a good alliance and just kind of keep building up from there. Other than that, You know, the rogue trader here is kind of like where you can get your offers and stuff of that nature. I'm not too jumpy in here because of the fact that there's not really a whole lot of good deals. Every once in a while you get like a reset stratagem that's kind of useful, but everything else in there I'm not too jumpy on. As you can see, I burn through crystals really quickly. Even though I'm like 3.8 million, it doesn't take a lot to burn crystals. Uh, I would say about the only thing with like expeditions, in case you are wondering what the expeditions even are. Let me just go ahead and show you. So this is 7/7, which is pretty late into the game, but there are even bonuses here that we can take into consideration. So again, you can deploy 3 heroes and you can get an affinity bonus and yada yada yada. Of course, the game's gonna like try and explain to me that, oh yes, you you could do this and get this bonus, and oh yeah, but it's like I don't want that shit unit. Sorry. I might use a last war and at least I'll get, you know, I'll get some hero attack bonus. And that's better than nothing. But as you can see, the total hero power needs to be 280, and this is only 262. Not terribly useful. So in this case, I might, you know, fare for this, and at least there I'm at 280, and that's a little bit more doable. Now, of course, I don't get the tactical bonus of the combo, but so be it. Now, you might be thinking, well, aren't these like hero stages and lords? And yes, they are. In case you're familiar with Lords Mobile, this is basically what these are. But they're kind of cool. So like here, you're going to start out fighting units. Etika is kind of cool because she gets like a healing leech bonus, plus she kills everything around her. Tycho is cool because he gets a speed bonus. He's also really great for attacking players in general. Now, this is the Free Blade Knight at level 20, so he's just going to pretty much erase anything that's in his way. Quartus gets like a laser that he can just drop from the sky and kill everything in his vicinity, so he's got some skills, man. We're going to try and pop... Oh, I didn't do it in time, but oh well. Haven't even spawned any units yet, so... Hang on a minute. Ugh. Don't kill my unit, damn you. Of course, I'm sitting here trying to maximize here and get some of these units called in to at least try and improve our chances here just a bit. We only got 30 seconds, but we should still be okay. Only because I saved the best for last. And problem solved. Now, you know, that's pretty much what expeditions are like. Like, you just do a lot of these, and you get little loots and stuff like that as you go around. And that's, you know, that's pretty much what expeditions are in a nutshell. But I don't know. I mean, outside of attacking players, rallying, and doing that, that's pretty much the experience that you're going to get from the game. And I mean, it's got cool heroes. I mean, like, if I click on, like, Ernica, for example, I mean, Ernica is kind of cool. Like, granted, you know, every hero in the game's got their own look. So as you can see, this is just like to kind of give you a quick portfolio look at some of them. Shrike's kind of cool. Tillion. And then you got Cantor, Tycho, Quartus. And then you got Elastor, Skeleton Dude, Vex. You got this Adremus, Kalor. You got this Mother Truck Sicario, Omnius, a Dreadnought basically, Solaris. And then you got Paratus, and then Elvinius. And that's pretty much it. Now, of course, I haven't gotten Corsaro or Coronis yet. I don't know how to get Coronis yet, but I do know that Corsaro, you can actually get his medals through VIP, I think it's like 8 or 9. Because down here you get his fragments. So that's where you get Corsaro, in case you're wondering. But other than that, a couple of factors that you do want to consider, at least when you're upgrading, is XP you get from going around doing events. So like right now, a lot of people are doing the Chaos event. So you can join a rally, send your troops, and voila. Of course, here I hit a troop limit. Let me see what's his limit here. He's got like 17,000 or something along those lines. So, of course, there's not like a really clean-cut way to like... This is probably one of those things that I wish they'd improve, because there's not really... This is kind of... I don't know, it's a little painful. I kind of want like a clear button or something along those lines, since it'd be a little easier to work with. Okay, and that'll do. But otherwise, for the most part, right? Outside of events in the game, which they do have an event schedule, Here in, you know, about 30 minutes, we're fixing to see the Blackrock stations go to all merry hell. You got Breach Assault, which is where you pretty much kill a boss. You do have Heroic Trial, where you can get a last door medals. And a lot of this stuff, when you're starting out in a new server, you're not going to see a lot of this stuff until you like get into it about a weekend. But otherwise, at least when you're starting out in the game, I would say probably focus primarily on increasing your battle barge and then work on your research. Build rank 1 dreadnoughts and predators. Predators for gathering, and then dreadnoughts for kind of a buffer. And then as far as combination goes and everything else, I mean, the rest of it's just kind of time consuming. But if any of you are interested, I am actually, I'll show you. So like where I am right now, I'm like the highest battle barge in my server. I'm like second in personal power. Now, if you're wondering what server I'm actually on, I mean, again, yeah, I'm in ranks, you know, I'm in server 66. My name's Dakota Fishman here, and I'm part of God. Now, I know some of you guys are going to be like, oh, it's cheesy as all hell, but it's fine. The Alliance itself is like 60 million power already. We got Alliance ranks and stuff like that. Of course, you know, it's kind of cool that you can see like events and such. You've got an event shop. You can see our Alliance members. There's actually, you know, defenses, ranks, and attacks whenever people get hit. There's domain. So here you can actually determine like, you know, what kind of domain bonuses you get for having those territories and the different bonuses that you have for said fortresses and such. Plus you get space platforms to then continuously build and upgrade your area and so forth. And then you can also get super resources where you can gather for your alliance. So it's it's pretty tangible, at least for when you're starting out, but that gives you kind of a general idea of at least what you're working with. Other than that, I don't know. I mean, whirlwinds are used pretty much in defense. I don't see too many people send them out in massive batches for attacking. I've seen people like they'll try to spam one unit type, and a lot of the time the reason why people are doing that is because they'll go, oh yeah, I'll just send an attack on like this guy here, and I'll just hit default units, have it send it for me automatically. I don't advise doing this though. I really do recommend you go through and you actually set up a lineup, pick whatever units you want, and then click on this, whatever one of these slots are that you want, and then save your lineups as you go around attacking. I really like Tycho, and I really like, you know, trying to get the most I can. The nice thing with Ernica is marching speed, but if I wasn't using Ernica, then I would more than likely throw a Laster in here just for that little increase in the combo that I get. Other than that, adding your free blade's pretty useful for attacking and such. But otherwise, as far as general tips, if there's any other advice, watch the next video, because I'm more than likely going to spit more information in every video to just kind of give you a whole lot of information that hopefully will help you out in the game. So I'll see you guys to the next video.